that you can't get through unless your university library has subscribed to the service. But we have quite a bit of that service available to you as students, so that the firewall should not be in your way. If you go to JSTOR, I believe, JSTOR is one of the major ones for the humanities, but you can use JSTOR here on this campus. So it's all there available to you. But yes, you need to do the URL when it was accessed. And if it's a Google book, I always just put Google book and then a regular entry for a bibliographical reference so that they know I looked at it as a digital form in Google Book. So there are now 16 million Google Books. It's going up to 40 million.
And a lot of it is scholarly work? So.
It's everything.
It's everything.
It's everything. So when you search, that's why often I go to Google Scholar. Google Scholar are mainly academic journals. So what you get in Google Scholar is, for the most part, Google Books can range all over the place, but it's a little bit like going to a library and looking at a shelf of books, and you go through, they have a picture of the front of the book, and you go looking and looking as if you were on a library to see, oh, I know that person, or that's a famous book, or I wonder what this new book is about, and you go look at it. Yes?
So may I share a little bit of my experience in using these digital materials,
Yes.
especially in terms of the validity of the authors. As part of writing my chapters, I have several external readers based on the content. So I invite some professors to read my chapters. And initially I used a lot of Google Books material, and one of the first new feedback I got back was that these books are not academic. You can't call it a children's book. So after a while I learned something. We have to check the authors. So who are the authors? And I think in our class, yes, that's right. And in our class we learned that we have to look up book reviews. We have to look up information about the background of the authors. And also when you're more familiar with a particular area, we'll more or less know who are the more established scholars in that area. And these are the ones that we should quote because they're often cited. I think in Google search, it tells you the number of citations, how many people cite this particular book and article. That's also useful as a reference. So I think after a while, when we do a lot more reading, we'll develop that sensitivity in terms of which are the authors that we could use.
Very good. That's absolutely correct. Yeah, citations are very helpful. You could type in a person's name into Google Books, and it will show you every place where their name occurs, and you look to see, is their name occurring in prefaces, or in the main body of books, or in footnotes, or bibliographies. And that's very interesting. You can type in your own name and see what happens. You're sometimes very surprised. You're very surprised to see what is being cited of your work. And I have to say that the things which are most cited for my own work, I consider to be my lesser work. Very shiny. But it's very interesting to do that. And so if you got an author and you just type in the author and see where when the Googles come back, what you're looking for is not only that they've authored something, but somebody has mentioned their name, and you want to know who mentioned it and in what context, and you can learn a lot that way.
Yeah, just to add, also when I look through the various websites and there's an interesting piece of information that I really want to use in my dissertation, then I go to Google Scholar, I go to JSTOR and ProQuest and look for where the source is. They must have copied from somewhere, and they must have learned from somewhere. So is there any academic backing? And then I quote that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, these are very good points.